What's up, what's up? Welcome back, beautiful people, to another Pick a Card reading. This reading is going to be a timeless career reading, so it doesn't matter when you're watching this video. As always, take what resonates, leave what doesn't, and remember, I always end my readings on a positive note. So, with that said, it's time to pick a card. This is Rainbow Moon. Alright, so before you here are 4 different decks, each with 4 different crystals. Each of these decks represent a different reading. If you've never done a pick a card reading before, how it works is you choose one of these decks with your intuition. What is intuition? I like to think of it as an instinct. There's no logic involved in an instinct. It's all based on feeling. So ask yourself, which of these decks am I most drawn to? Which of these crystals am I most drawn to? If you're drawn to multiple decks or multiple crystals, that's totally fine. It just means that there's multiple messages that you're meant to hear. So for those of you who want to draw these by crystals or choose by crystals, let's go through each of them now. So deck number 1 features this black moonstone. Deck number 2 features this pyrite. Deck number 3 is this gorgeous sunstone. And deck number 4 is this very intricate, detailed charoite. Alright, if you need more time to choose, feel free to pause the video. But if you already know, then you can go into the video's description and click on the time code for the deck that you chose. Alright, get comfortable, go brew some tea, and I'll see you at your reading. What's up, deck number 1? Welcome to your reading. Remember, if you chose deck number 1, you chose the deck with the black moonstone on it. Alright, so how this is going to work is I'm going to take some cards from this deck of traditional tarot, then I'm going to use some clarifying cards here, and then I'll end it off with some oracle decks, just to get some nice little messages for you to walk away into your life with. Alright, so deck number 1. Let's see what's going on in your career. Some wands, Knight of Pentacles, the Hermit in reverse, some more Pentacles, and then the Devil. All right, let's get some clarifiers here. We have Surrender for the 7 of Wands, Strength for the Knight of Pentacles, Focus, the Hermit in reverse, Direction for 6 of Pentacles, Chameleon for the Devil. All right, cool. Yeah, so I'm seeing in your past that in your workplace you might have been dealing with some tension, some coworkers that you might not have been seeing eye to eye with. You might have felt like it was you versus everyone else. You have to fend for yourself every day. Every day you go to work and you're going to war. You feel disconnected from society, from your workplace, from the whole. You feel like a minor part of everything. You're putting in a lot of energy and a lot of passion too, but it's not being met. You might have been putting your energy into the wrong path, the wrong pocket in a way. And it kind of came to a point and you had to stop. You had to surrender. You had to put up the little white flag and say, I'm done. It's not going to be like this anymore. I'm not going to let it be like this anymore. And maybe you felt like you you lost. Like these people, this workplace actually won over you. They won the battle. So I guess you felt like it just wasn't worth fighting for anymore. It wasn't worth giving so much energy, so much of your passion away, this vital energy within you. And that's unfortunate, Whether you were right or whether you were wrong doesn't really matter. It was you versus everyone. If you were doing something that was right with your best intentions, maybe this wasn't the right environment for you, and you were convincing yourself for so long that it was. But it was definitely a challenge. So it must have been hard to leave. I feel like it was a long time coming and it didn't really end too well. So you were forced to surrender and forced to move on. But that doesn't necessarily mean that it was a negative thing. It's most likely a positive thing. So after that, we have the Knight of Pentacles here, which strength. And yeah, you were definitely forced to be strong, to leave this situation and travel to somewhere new, and to take what you had left and move it somewhere else. You had to kind of start all over and plant new seeds. I'm seeing 3 seeds here in order for it to grow. It's really hard to leave something. Maybe you're at this job for a long, long time, and it was just boiling up to the surface for so long that you just couldn't deal with it. You didn't want to feel like you had to fight every day. That's not how a workplace should feel anyway. It should feel harmonious to you, and to the intention you're putting out. But you definitely weren't receiving what you were putting in. It was lopsided by a lot. But then you decided to go onto your own journey, your own solo journey, take what you had left, take what money you had left, which might have been a little, and use that to plant a seed and figure out what it was you're going to do, which entered you into this hermit energy, this hermit in reverse energy. So maybe you didn't know exactly what it was that you were going to move into. And I think you're in this state now of contemplation of, I don't know what to do really with my life, with my career at this point. And it's kind of all you're focusing on. You definitely feel lonely right now. You might be withdrawing from people. You might be paranoid. Maybe you're paranoid about running out of money, or paranoid that, oh, was that the right decision to leave this toxic work environment? Not sure. So you're not really able to access this voice within yourself right now, but that's kind of what's important to start moving forward, is to really listen to yourself and see what is the next step, where you should go next. But you're completely focused on this right now in life. And I think you're dealing with a lot of fear. You don't really know where it's going. You don't know, again, if you made the right decision. You feel like you're on an island. You're in this journey alone with yourself, and that could be hard. And you also don't really know the right step forward. And there's not really anyone there to show you what that step is. It's taking up a lot of your mind space right now. And it's kind of throwing your life upside down. You're wondering if this was the right decision to leave this workplace. Were these people right in the end? Which is tough to deal with. So money is definitely on your mind. This might be affecting your work, your home, the people around you. And that can cause a lot of fear. It can cause a lot of uneasiness, not having this solid foundation, especially in the world right now. But I'm seeing in the near future that this new direction will come into view. And that's the key word here, is direction, because you need to know where you're going to step forward. I'm seeing people are going to help you, maybe someone from your past that, might have been from a long time ago, or this might be a new person too. And they're finding you at this low part of your life, and they're helping you financially or with a job. So that's pretty positive. It's a positive thing to look forward to. Yeah, this person's very generous. They're coming from a place of fairness. They're coming with good intentions. They're sharing their wealth. They're being generous and they're being charitable. So I would definitely start at this point thinking of the areas where you can match to this reality. Who can you reach out to that has been generous to you? And this doesn't have to just mean financially generous or monetary, actually giving you a job. This could also be someone who's been generous with their advice. Lean on people at this time for advice. Think of who in your life has this sense of fairness with them. Always comes from a place of wanting everyone to be equal, wanting the situation to be equal. And, what else comes with this besides potentially monetary value is a sense of direction, which is honestly more important, because present day you is just not sure of the step forward, of the path forward. You're not sure where to take the first step, and you're kind of just in this perpetual state of no forward movement. You're stagnating a bit, and it's kind of weighing down in your mind. So that's definitely not a good place to be. And the remedy to that is direction. And I think you will find that direction in this person, this generous person coming in. So I think the key is to ask for advice. The key is to ask for other people, because I'm seeing that you've been on this island for a long time in your past, very deep into your past, when you're dealing with this work situation, when you decided to leave that, you were alone, you were on an island, and now you're alone in your own thoughts. You're alone in your situation. You're alone in the direction that you want to go in. So I definitely think this is going to be turned around in the near future. Again, there's someone coming into your life offering advice, offering a job, offering money, offering direction. Maybe it's a type of work that you never thought that you would ever get into. Somewhere you never thought you'd see yourself. But what's interesting is after this, in the distant future, you have the devil with the chameleon. So somehow here, there's going to be a taint in your psyche. Your psyche is going to be kind of muddled and distorted because of certain addictions. So the chameleon energy attached to that too. You might be kind of forced to sacrifice yourself for this new situation. You might find yourself potentially holding on to vices, holding on to things that aren't necessarily healthy for you, certain addictions that you might have dealt with in the past, or new addictions that you'll be dealing with now. So I might be wary of this person actually coming to help you. I think you need to find your own direction, and not the direction that will just be handed to you out of left field. This devil energy really adds an air of suspicion with this person. And it could be this person that is being the chameleon here and putting on a face to you, pretending to be someone they're not, in order to get something out of you, in order to suck your energy away with this addiction. So my mind goes to Ponzi schemes, pyramid schemes, those kind of salesmen, saleswomen that will offer you a service, offer you that kind of job where the job ends up being you have to sacrifice a part of yourself. Like you end up busting your butt for this person, and it's really not in your best interest. It's actually in their best interest, but you don't know it. These people prey on desperate people in desperate situations that are looking for anything because they need it. They need something to live. And in terms of these cards in a career reading, it really isn't pretty, because a lot of career deals with our foundation, deals with pentacles and the element of earth, which is all about your foundation, your home, your life, your health. And those are the things, part of the physical reality that really do matter a lot, especially in this day and age where everything is so black and white and unpredictable. So maybe you should be wary of this person. I think it connects back to this idea of direction. Don't let someone offer you a direction. Don't succumb to this desperation just because it's something easy, just because it seems like the perfect answer. You might be limiting yourself here. You might be sacrificing yourself. The direction lies within yourself. You need to turn this Hermit card back upright. Right now it's upside down. I think it's important to say that when you get cards like the Devil or the Tower, it's a little scary to know that, a tarot reading told you that that's what's coming in the future. But tarot readings are really just a blueprint of your future reality as of now. What's powerful about getting these readings is knowing on the path that is the potential for you, where your frequency is a match to right now, is not set in stone. Ultimately, the beauty of being a human is having free will and being able to move forward, make your own decisions, change your reality. But the key is you have the key. The key is yourself. You have the key to your life. You have the key to your decisions. No one else does. And it's always up to you. So I would urge you to find your own direction in this situation. Self-reflect, meditate, go back to this previous situation in your past where you had to leave this work environment and realize why you thought these people didn't value you. What qualities do you value within yourself in the workplace that these people weren't seeing? Like, actually define that, even write it down so you know. It's important to ask yourself that. Think of the first thing that comes to your mind is usually the answer. So what pops up for you? What are your qualities? And lead with that. I think that's a great way to find your direction forward. And ultimately, leaving that job, leaving that situation, that type of work environment or work mentality in the past led you to plant these seeds. Again, I'm seeing 3 seeds here, whatever that might be. That might be just like an inkling to start your own business, or you had this idea, or you thought of these people that you want to work with, whatever it is. Could be a complete career shift, Just the act of leaving that toxic work environment planted seeds for the future. And those were planted by you. Those weren't planted by someone external. This person, coming to you externally in the near future could be a result of those seeds, could be an energetic match to that seed that you planted. Or they could be an energetic match to the energy of desperation that you're feeling right now. So definitely be careful. You want to discern whether or not this person is coming to you because you are a match to them out of your desperation, and they are behind the scenes this sort of devil energy where they're preying on your insecurities, they're preying on your needs and wants, your desperation. Or is this person a match to those seeds, those positive intentions that you set off with when you left this toxic work environment and set to manifest your own career, manifest this new career, whatever it might be. But in the near future, I would definitely be wary of people's intentions that come to you, because your energy might not be a match to your most positive future at this point. Again, because of this lack of direction. So go back in the past and realize why you left this situation. What makes you strong in the workplace, and lead with that. And then contemplate that. Contemplate how you can set your own direction forward and not some external person. All right, cool. I think I'm going to leave it there, and now I'm going to do some oracle cards. Now, these oracle cards can be looked at many different ways. You can look at it as a message from the universe, from your guides, your spirit tribe, ancestors, higher self, however you want to look at it. It doesn't matter. All right. Oh. Gonna get an animal card first. Beautiful. Let's see what animal can help you. Gonna get a bunch of cards actually. Gonna get a frequency card, one of my favorite decks, Teal Swan frequency deck. Let's see, what frequency are you holding in your career right now? Thank you. Get one of these angel cards. Let's see what you got. Ooh. Oh my gosh. That's crazy. I was going to wait until I picked a bunch of cards, but this card from the angel deck happened to pop out face up already. And guess what it is? Career transition. That's crazy. We'll get into that. Gonna get some guide cards too. Solitude, higher self. Let's get a Thread of Fate card. All right, and I just want to get some clarifiers for this too. Hang tight while I make this all neat and tidy. For those of you that like to watch the video. 2, 3. All right, let's see what you got. From the animal deck, we have the cheetah. This frequency deck, soul family in reverse. And then, as I said, we have career transition, higher self, and the sovereign from the Thread of Fate deck. Interesting. Yeah, so it feels like that there's so much forward momentum into manifestation right now. At least I think that's what's going to be experienced immediately. So I think you're going to experience this burst of passion, this burst of action, this burst of fire energy, and you're going to go towards something almost immediately. I think you're going to get this burst of inspiration, and you're just going to start moving forward and manifesting. And by manifesting, I mean actually taking concrete physical steps into manifesting a physical reality. So you're actually doing things in the world, you're not just thinking them anymore. So that's great. I mean, you love to see that energy in a career reading, just like this knowingness. So I feel like that is coming to you soon. Again, make sure you know you're going in the right direction. I think that's super important to say again. It's amazing that you have all this speed and all this energy to just pour into something and make something big out of it. But again, you just want to be making sure that you're putting it into the right thing, that all this energy isn't going to waste, especially with the cheetah. Like, that's just so much forward momentum and so fast. You want to make sure you're going in the right place. Don't waste this energy. So again, meditate on your direction. That direction should stem from you, not anyone else. And then we have Soul Family in reverse, which is interesting, mixed with this summer card as well. So I feel like right now you don't have, I shouldn't say you don't have, because you will have, but at this point, you don't have the correct people surrounded by you. You don't have people that are supporting your highest good. They don't have the truest intentions in your career. I feel like these people might be lingering from that past toxic work environment, or these people represent certain aspects of this toxic work environment. And by summer, I think that will be turned around. I think by summer, those seeds that you were planting will be very much grown and actually look like something really beautiful, something very diverse and colorful, even getting this rainbow energy, which is all about transformation. So I think through these people, this new environment you're going to be launched into, once you move forward with your own direction, I think it's going to blossom your career, and there's going to be a bunch of people around you supporting you and your highest good with good intentions. I think you're manifesting an entirely new career here by summer, if you're looking for a timeline. So again, we have this imagery of roots. We have so much imagery of roots, actually. So I think these seeds that you were planting by leaving this toxic work environment, you never would have thought would lead to this in the future. Career transition, Archangel Shemel, your life purpose is triggering a blessed career change. That's crazy. So this is definitely destined by the universe. You were destined to leave this toxic situation. And just remember, like, you left this situation for you, not for anyone else. Ultimately, it was for you. Those seeds that were planted from leaving that toxic work environment are your seeds. They're growing within you. They're growing outside of your soul. And those roots, I think, are now deep by summer. Those roots are a very solid foundation. You might have not thought this career change was ever possible, but I'm here to tell you that it definitely is. It's definitely destined by the universe. And again, it's going to be supported by these beautiful people around you, this soul tribe almost. And it's going to be extremely transformative to you. You're basically moving into this new chapter. And again, it's going to grow into these very, very tall, strong trees symbolically. So I think it's going to affect so many different areas of your life and really create this solid foundation to build on and to create exactly what you've always wanted to, I think. But again, make sure you're going in the right direction, the direction for you, not the direction for anyone else, because that's where the energy is coming from for the universe. The universe is going to give energy for you. And I think that's the blessing here too. Like, I think that forward momentum energy really is a gift from the universe. This cheetah energy is a gift from the universe to manifest. And, definitely don't doubt the importance of actually putting in the work. But again, make sure it's in the right direction and the universe will reward you. And then we have solitude, higher self, root chakra. I think this is kind of alluding to different ways that you can heal yourself during this process. So root chakra, very much related to, again, your body, the physical realm, earth element. So definitely be I would suggest going out into nature, honestly. I'm getting so much of this nature imagery, so maybe it's time to go take a trip to a national park or something, somewhere beautiful in nature. I think that's going to be very grounded for you. Touch grass, literally. Eat red foods. I'm getting so much tree imagery. Like, I really think you just need to go be around trees. I think that's going to be very healing for you, but it's all kind of rooted in solitude. So you should be doing this alone, in complete solitude. Again, like, you need to find this direction, and maybe the key to that is tuning into nature and thinking about what direction you want to go forward in nature. And then lastly, this is actually the most profound part of this entire reading. We have the Sovereign card from Threads of Fate here, which features this beautiful crystal crown. And the clarifying card is literally crown chakra with a crown on it and all these beautiful flowers and everything. And flowers are the last part of a plant's process. It's where the beauty shines the most. The roots are fully sown into the ground, and now everything is blossoming in this beautiful way. And you really are going to be on top of your reality here, and you're going to get a bunch of downloads from the universe. Like, you are connected to this source energy. You are in this flow state, and you are just getting all this inspiration and all this beautiful energy straight from the universe, straight from your higher self. This is so meant to be, this career change. And it's really going to put you in this beautiful, beautiful power. And it's going to cleanse your entire life and start something new. It really is beautiful. You could even be finding yourself in a leadership position at some point. Yeah, I mean, it's just all about power within yourself. You're going to know yourself here. You're going to know what you're about. You're going to rule your own kingdom. And that doesn't mean you have to rule it with an iron fist. Obviously, come from a place of love. But really, that is what's on the other side of this. So if you're doubting at all about leaving that past situation, whatever that might have been, do not doubt your decision whatsoever. That planted some powerful seeds that are going to manifest as this beautiful new career for you that's destined by the universe, and you're going to end up king or queen. And I think that's a beautiful place to end up. So amazing. But again, make sure you trust yourself during this. Make sure you tune into yourself, preferably in nature. Again, your root chakra is kind of out of balance, and that might be because back when you were, maybe right now, you were not so certain of how to move forward. You're in a place of desperation. Your foundation is crumbling under you right now. So you need to heal that, and that is very much aligned with the root chakra. So again, go back into nature. That's where you're going to find that sense of direction when you tune back in with yourself and ask yourself, what are these traits that I encompass that will set me forward in my career? That's where I need to lead from. So heal that root chakra. Eat anything red, wear red, water red, jasper, tomatoes, whatever it might be. That might sound super random, but that actually does help align the root chakra. Once you have that direction, then move forward. Then take all that energy and start manifesting. All right. And you're going to end up on top with that beautiful crown on top of your head. So, okay, cool. Well, I really hope this helped. Thank you for tuning in. Please like, comment, subscribe. The interaction helps keep my channel alive, keeps my readings free. If you want to get deeper here and get a personal reading, go into the video description and use my contact to shoot me an email. Thank you so much. Really can't wait to see this manifest for you, and I really hope this helped. This has been Rainbow Moon. What's up, deck number 2? Welcome to your reading. Remember, if you chose this deck, it was the one with the pyrite ball. All right, cool. So I'm going to start this reading off with some traditional tarot and some clarifying cards, and then I'm going to end it with some oracle cards. All right. Let's see, deck number 2. What's going on with deck number 2's career? Sometimes I'm so bad at shuffling. Depends on the day. All right, let's see what you got. Deck number 2, we have Strength in reverse, 4 of Wands, 7 of Swords, 8 of Pentacles, Queen of Swords in reverse. Let's get some clarifying. We have Timeline for Strength in reverse. We have Entanglement for 4 of Swords. Purity for 7 of Swords. Open Heart for 8 of Pentacles. And Mountains for Queen of Swords. All right, deck number 2. So in your past, feels like you weren't in your own power. You weren't feeling strong in your career. You were feeling weak, feeling maybe directionless, lack of passion. Yeah, you didn't really know where you wanted to go. There may have been multiple pathways available for you, but you didn't know which you wanted to take, and you weren't taking any steps forward. Maybe you got a little stagnant. Maybe you weren't taking any steps forward and kind of just reveling in the stagnation, reveling in doing nothing. But that didn't really make you feel good. You didn't really like how that made you feel, doing nothing for so long, and it made you feel powerless. Maybe you weren't able to manifest a job, nothing was coming through, which wouldn't be uncommon for today. Yeah, it just kind of made you doubt yourself, maybe. You doubted if you were even worthy for a job. You were doubted by people around you, perhaps. You were doubting if anything was ever going to come to fruition. But then you were offered something, and it felt almost celebratory. You were cheered on by the people around you. Maybe you got a new job. Maybe you were starting a new project at work. Maybe for so long you were just going through the motions. You were just doing a job to do it. You weren't really finding passion in it, but then passion came. Maybe it was a new project. Maybe it was a new coworker or a new team that you were working with, or a new job entirely. And it felt like an accomplishment. You were celebrating. People were welcoming you with open arms. They were ready for this new possibility, this new potential. And it felt good. Your passion was restored. You manifested something. You manifested this new chapter, it felt like. But it seems like this situation may have came with some baggage. There were some things tacked on to this situation that you might have not been aware of. Maybe this work environment had previous paradigms with a bunch of coworkers that didn't really involve you, but now because you're entering this situation, ultimately it affected you. And you were kind of drawn into this drama. And what felt so great in the beginning kind of took a turn and got washed away by this toxicity. It's almost like this confusion and directionless that you were dealing with before this situation got even worse, and you became even more confused than you were before. You're wondering if this situation was even worth it. Was it worth celebrating? Maybe you didn't want to enter this situation. Maybe people in your life were kind of egging you on and being like, how could you turn this down? It's such a great opportunity. Like, why would you not do this? But deep in your heart, you knew it wasn't right for you. But you did it anyway. Maybe out of necessity. Maybe you listened to people when you shouldn't have. Or maybe it felt good. Maybe it just felt good to do something after so long. Maybe any direction was a good direction. Just the fact that you had something was worth celebrating. But yeah, after a lot of time, things just kind of took a turn, and you became intertwined into this web of this situation. And now I think you're leaving it. You're either thinking of leaving it or you're actively leaving it. And I think you've been thinking of doing this for quite a long time. You might have been planning your escape in a way. You might have been betrayed in this new situation, this new career, this new project. These new coworkers might have betrayed you. Maybe the expectations of the job weren't lining up with what they told you in the beginning. Maybe these people didn't turn out to be who they said they were. Maybe this job didn't turn out to be what it was supposed to be. Maybe you felt betrayed. Maybe someone betrayed you. Yeah, maybe you were deceived this entire time. It just wasn't what you thought it was. And now you're leaving. You feel like a need to purge this toxicity within your life. This job, this people, this opportunity ended up being more of a burden, and you're kind of purifying yourself and getting back to basics with who you are, with what you want to do in your career, what you want to build. It looks like you're taking more away from the situation than you're leaving. Like, it kind of just makes sense at this point. Like, you're cutting your losses and you're going to walk away with a package, perhaps. You're going to walk away with some benefits. And I think what you're taking from this situation, you're going to end up using in the near future to build something. But it's almost like you have to be sneaky to get out of this situation. Again, you've been planning it for a long time. You're waiting for the right day, even the right time, the right moment to get out, because maybe you're worried about things following you, or maybe you're worried about the consequences of leaving the situation. So it has to be the right time. It has to be the right moment. And I think you have to leave a part of yourself within this situation, but you're being very calculated with it. And it takes a lot of thinking. You might have to weigh how this will affect your life. And you have to kind of plan. It's forcing you to make a game plan about what's after, what's coming after, you know. And what's coming after, it seems like, is building and creating a new future, a new physical reality. This might be, I could see maybe even crafting something with your hands, building, construction. But it doesn't have to literally mean that. Symbolically, in the near future, it really just means you're building something worthwhile. You're manifesting something into the physical reality. This could be a job. It's by your own hand, though. And I think it's going to take a lot of work. It might feel repetitive even. It might be a long game of sort, but I think you're taking something from this situation you're leaving now and bringing it into the future. Maybe it's these ideas you learned, these concepts that you learned. You're definitely taking some positive things away from this toxic situation that you're purging out of your life right now. And you're using those things you learned, maybe they're concepts or lessons or skills, and you're using that to build something new, something for yourself. And what you're building might take some solitude. It might be a lonely act, but what you're building is larger than yourself. And to you, it's worth it. The universe definitely wants you to have an open heart with this, wants you to stay true to the reason you're building this thing in the near future, to have pure intentions with it. What is the thing that really boiled it down from what you left to what you were entangled in? When you got rid of all that noise and all that mess, what was left? It was this passion within yourself. What came from your heart? What in your heart told you to leave this situation? That is intertwined with the reason for what you're building now. It's almost like you needed this past situation to reorient yourself, to realign yourself to the true reason of why you're in this life and why you're building this career and what your life's purpose is and how you can make money, how you can really manifest into this physical reality. And I think this is something, what you're building is something that really comes natural to you. Something that might even have been a skill that you've harnessed in the past before all these situations. It might be something that you were not doing when you were back in that mode of feeling powerless and feeling weak in your life and your career, feeling like you had no control and couldn't access the energy to really manifest your goals, dreams, desires. But now you've found that again. You've come back into what makes you you. I think you're going to find the essence of your soul that you can really lean on to manifest your goals, dreams, and desires, and to manifest a life that you feel like is worth living, and a life that's really going to give back to you too. What you're building is, again, larger than you, but it's going to require an open heart. I think what you're building is difficult, and there's a long road ahead, and it's going to require a lot of work, but it's aligned with you. It's aligned with your heart, but you need to be open. And I think you need to protect yourself during this process too. I'm seeing this image of like this ball of golden light around you. You need to give yourself love during building this situation. And again, protect yourself, because I think there's going to be things at play that are going to try to throw you off kilter while you're building this new thing in the near future. But I think you're going to be able to brunt the seasons of sorts. You're going to be able to sit down and get to work, do the work every day, no matter the weather, no matter if it's storming or it's rainy or it's sunny, doesn't matter. You're going to be able to sit down and show up every day and do the work. And that's the key to your future, to move past the repetitive aspect and to just focus in on the why you're doing this. Why is this important to you? Because deep in your heart, this is something that you know you need to do. So definitely make sure you're utilizing the skills you learned from this toxic situation that you were leaving. And lastly, be aware that there may be a person coming in that is going to try to throw you off kilter and is going to make it hard for you, I think, to manifest this situation. And they might come from this previous work environment or situation or project or people that you were involved with in your career. It might come from the situation that you were leaving, because I'm seeing as you were leaving it, you were leaving some things behind. You were leaving a trace behind. And I think this person picked that up and is going to use that against you. So if you can, as you're leaving this situation now, if you haven't already left it, make sure, you cross your T's and dot your I's, because you don't want to get into a situation where someone has leverage over you, because I'm seeing that it's going to cause you to have to climb many mountains and tackle treacherous waters and deal with very harsh rays of sun. What I mean by all that is it's going to be difficult for you with this person coming in while you're trying to build your future and build this project within yourself. Whether it's a business you're starting yourself, or whether it's a project you're spearheading yourself, or surrounding yourself with better people, there's going to be someone from this past situation that comes back and tries to throw you off kilter. And to you, they're going to come off very spiteful, like almost even evil, like cold, calculated. So be aware of that. If there's any way you can avoid any baggage coming forward into your future with this new thing you're creating in your career, do it, because this person can cause a lot of issues for you. So be aware there might be someone coming in and trying to throw you off kilter. But again, if you keep this open heart, and I think reconnect to the reason why you left this situation, to the reason why you want to build this career, like what are your intentions with it? Connect to that. Connect to the essence of yourself, again, that you took leaving this toxic situation, that you were left with, that you purified yourself to remain as, and really harness that essence of yourself and protect that, because that's what's going to cause you to be able to brunt those situations, to brunt those people coming back into this situation and throwing you off kilter and trying to meddle with that and cause you to climb all these mountains. That's what's going to help you brunt anything that comes your way, any kind of weather that may throw you off the path that you're on now. So stay true to that essence in yourself. Stay true to your heart and make sure you're aligned with that while creating this, because that's what's going to help you show up every day to do the work. All right, I'm going to move on and get some oracle cards to end the reading. So you can look at this as a message from the universe, message from your higher self, your guides, your angels, spirit tribe, however you want to look at it. Okay, first let's see what animal spirit can help you with this situation in your career. What animal can help you in this situation in your career? We have the cobra. Let's get a Teal Swan frequency deck. What frequency are deck number 2 currently vibrating with? Calming in reverse. Let's get an angel card. Moon cycles. Let's get a guide card. Oof, got 2. Death, guardian angels. Family, Holy Spirit. Cool. I just want to get some clarifying cards for these. Containers with Cobra. Air with Calming in Reverse. Gates with Moon Cycles. Spring with Death, Guardian Angels. Resistance with Family and Holy Spirit. Okay, cool. Yes, I was already getting this sense earlier in the reading, but I wasn't getting enough indication that there may be family members at play, weighing down the situation. And, you know, we have resistance with family, Holy Spirit here. I definitely feel like there's this pushback with your family. There may be some sort of trigger with family in your career where it's a family business perhaps, and a lot of your forward momentum is being pushed back by certain expectations you have on you. In that situation, again, I think it's important to come back to the essence of yourself, the intentions you have for manifesting this type of career, this project, whatever you're creating, this business that you're diving into in the near future. Come back to that essence, that reason in your heart, and let that guide you, because I definitely feel like there's going to be some tension in your family, whether that's people judging your decisions, whether that's people putting these expectations on you. What's important for manifesting your physical reality in the future, for manifesting success, essentially, for manifesting wealth and a foundation, is to stay true to that heart, stay true to that reason, what you boil down to, what makes you you, and what makes what you're chasing in your career all worth it. That's what needs to ground you in any of those kinds of situations. There may even be a death in the family around springtime, which technically is now. So if this isn't a physical death, there may be, this may just be aligned to the kind of death of this previous situation that we were talking about, where you had to kind of, again, like shed some aspect of yourself and make something else blossom. And I think that's a beautiful way to read this. It's almost like your third eye is opening too when you're getting rid of this, and you're getting rid of these toxic mentalities or these toxic people, and you're letting this beautiful and angelic energy almost into your life. And with death comes rebirth. So with letting that go, you're letting this beautiful energy in, these beautiful mentalities, and I think you're going to be more harmonious leaving that toxic situation. And you have this moon cycles card. Notice how the moon affects your energy and manifestations, and capitalize upon those cycles. That's interesting. So it almost seems like with this new goal, with whatever you're creating in your career, There's different stages to it, and it might align with the moon, so definitely be aware of the full moons, new moons. That's a message coming through. As I'm making this, as I'm doing this reading right now, it's a Gemini full moon, which is funny, but yeah, maybe that's a positive way to look at it moving forward, is like these are different stages of this process that you're going to have to go through. And so if you're the kind of person that's always just like waiting for something to happen, or you kind of a doomsday person, you're like, oh, when is this negative thing going to happen? Look towards the dates in the calendar that align to the full moon and the new moon, because these are metaphorical, symbolic gates for you to cross. And they're different stages of this transformation, of this new system that you're creating and what you're showing up to build every day. So I definitely think another thing coming through is that consistent work, because a lot of what you're creating might involve repetition. So it's important, again, that you show up every day. And it might be good to segment your progress with different goals and really get down to like the timing of it and be like, okay, this thing is going to take X amount of time. This thing will take this amount of time. And it could be good to like put goalposts in front of yourself too. Different gates to cross, different stages of the process to cross. And a lot of these could be aligned with the moon cycles. So yeah, that's one aspect that might help you manifest a little easier, is setting those goals. Yeah, and I think you're definitely going to need some sort of calming energy. I mean, calming in reverse mixed with this air element is really interesting. There's this blue coming through too. So it almost makes me think of the throat and things that you need to say. It's almost like you need a calming voice in your life, calming ideas in your life. Yeah, that's interesting. I think you've been dealing with a lot of chaos, perhaps a lot of overthinking, perhaps you're always pushed in a bunch of directions, and that kind of throws you off. So the universe needs you to have this foundation, this root, so you can't be swayed so easily. Maybe that was kind of a root to these toxic issues, is that you're someone that's able to be, you let people push you in certain directions when you need to stand strong in your own direction, in your own being, rather, and really root yourself down into the earth and not let this wind sway you, these people sway you left and right, because that might feel chaotic. So I think a lot of that is rooted in communication. I think there's a lot of opportunity to speak up and to speak your mind, and that's the key to feeling calm. The key to feeling calm for you is being able to speak your truth, tell people exactly where you're at, and stay strong in that, and don't let people move you one way or the other. Hold strong in your position, and again, show up every single day. Yeah, that connects with that too. Showing up every single day, there's so many things that could push you away from that commitment, away from that repetition. But again, to manifest what you're trying to manifest in your career, it really does require that consistent, repetitive work. And again, you need to be grounded in that open heart, into that essence and purpose of why you're doing this and why you're showing up for yourself every day, because there's going to be a lot of things that sway you into a lot of different potential directions. But again, I think that's kind of connecting back to that entanglement that you were dealing with that situation you left, and that purposelessness that you were feeling when you didn't have that strength, that inner strength. This is how you get that inner strength back, is staying strong, rooting down into the earth, and staying true to your commitments, not letting the air sway you, not letting people's ideas sway you, only letting your own ideas ground you. And that's what's going to give you this sense of calm, is by speaking your truth to those certain people. And lastly, you have this Cobra energy. Make sure you're accessing your passion. Make sure you're adding a certain level of organization into this repetitive nature. And I think that connects back with those gates and those cycles I was telling you about. Set those goals for yourself. I think that's a good way to manifest. I think this is going to require some more learning as well. Don't think like you know everything. There's a lot to learn moving forward in this situation. Might be time to go back to school. Might be time to take a class. Finally do that seminar. It's like that old saying, when the student is ready, the teacher appears. So maybe someone will come into your life that'll help teach you some things that you're supposed to know. Maybe it's time to seek out that teacher. Maybe it's time, to seek out some external guidance. Maybe, again, if you're so tied down with your family, if that's you, it might be time to find someone outside of that system that doesn't have a bias, that doesn't have that familial tie, doesn't have that emotional intertwining to come in and teach you a lesson. Maybe the lesson you need to learn is organization. But I definitely think that it would help to learn something new with this situation. So let a teacher guide you, and it's time to move into the next step. It's time to find a deeper level of intelligence in your career. And, while you might have these skills, or have had these skills, and are taking these skills from that situation you were leaving, you might not know everything. I'm sure you'll learn a lot by doing, but there's always things you can learn from an external source. So seek a teacher in this situation. All right. Well, I'm going to end it there. If you want to go deeper, I do private readings. Just hit me up. My contact is in the video description. But if not, thank you so much for joining me today. I really hope this helped. Really hope you manifest a future in your career that you want, and you can reach all your goals, dreams, and desires. Make sure you like, comment, and subscribe. Interacting with my channel is the best way to help my channel and keep these readings free. So make sure you do that. It takes no money, so I'd really appreciate it. But yeah, thank you so much for tuning in. I hope you have a beautiful rest of the month. This has been Rainbow Moon. What's up, pile number 3? Welcome to your reading. Remember, if you pick this deck, you pick the deck with Sunstone, pile number 3. Alright, so how this reading is going to work is I'm going to start with some traditional tarot here and some clarifying cards. And then I'll end it off with some oracle cards too. All right, let's shuffle a little. Let's see what deck number 3 has in store for their career. This is a timeless reading. It doesn't matter when I posted this. This can apply at any time. Get one more shuffle here. I kind of messed up that last one. All right, let's see what is in store for pile number 3's career. First, we have the Hermit. Second, we have Page of Pentacles. Third, the Hierophant. Fourth, we have Nine of Pentacles. Lastly, we have Knight of Cups. Okay. Let's get some clarifying cards here too. Oops. Let's see what we have. For the Hermit, we have Past. For Page of Pentacles, we have Phases. For the Hierophant, we have Authenticity. For Nine of Pentacles, we have Shielding. And then Knight of Cups, we have Hero. Quite an interesting mix here. So in your past, deck number 3, definitely seeing that you were in a heavy state of contemplation. You might have been isolating yourself off from other people. There was something that you had to think deeply on. You were doing some soul work, some inner work. You were being guided by your own light. So you set some intention to go inward, something to figure out. And it seems like there's a lot of looking back in the past. So something might have happened to you in your past, in your career. So it might have been a toxic work environment that you're looking back on. You might have been looking back at all your previous jobs, maybe an altercation at work, maybe a previous career that you were looking back on. But yeah, it's almost like you were journeying to your past. You were journeying to this place. Maybe it was in the distant past, like a job you did way, way, way back, or a person, a coworker from your previous job way, way, way back, because there's this idea of traveling far to this place. And maybe you were searching for clarity there. Maybe there was something about this past situation that you still needed to figure out. There was a little nugget of wisdom that you were looking for here. Yeah, I'm curious what that is. And then Page of Pentacles in here is interesting, in reverse, mixed with this Phases card too. It's almost like there is an opportunity that could present itself, but it can't. There's some sort of blockage in it being offered to you. But there's this energy that wants to offer this job to you, offer this opportunity to you, offer this project to you, but it's being held back by this idea of phases. So maybe this person doesn't feel like it's the right time. They're waiting for the right moment, waiting for you to hit some sort of level within this. Maybe you're looking back alternatively on an opportunity that you missed out on. You're looking back at all these phases from your career where you didn't get what you want, where you weren't offered what you want. Maybe you've never been offered that promotion that you've always wanted. You've never been given this sort of validation from a superior in your job that you've always wanted. But it's something concrete. It's something that is physical. So, this very much could be a new position, a job, something of monetary value. But there's this blockage of, this offer not being able to be received by you. And maybe it's just not the right time. Maybe you've always been waiting for the right time for this. And maybe your past is what's blocking this. Maybe there's just something that needs to be figured out, something that needs to be dealt with, something that needs to rise to the top from your past that was never really resolved. And you're kind of blocking these situations that could lead to a new career, a new project, money, because you're just looking backward into the past instead of forward. And you're not able to receive these gifts that the universe wants to give to you. Maybe this is a cycle for you. Maybe this is always happening this way, and it always has. But yeah, there's definitely this idea of stagnation, like you're not able to progress in your career. Might be like procrastination. Could even be some sort of gambling, like you're taking risks in places that maybe you shouldn't. Yeah, but I definitely think that this has been a pattern for a long time. Maybe you were hurt badly in a previous workplace by a previous coworker, or maybe you lost a lot of money at some point, and so you're letting that kind of color your experience, and you're always looking back to that, and it's blocking you from opportunity. It's blocking you from financial opportunity. It's blocking you from developing your skills. It's blocking you from manifestation. And again, I think this has been a cycle for you. This has been nonstop. And that's kind of what's tying your shoes together in a way, so you can't move forward into what you were supposed to become. But it seems like that might have been in your past, like you're leaving that sort of mentality behind, and now you're finally coming into your power a little with this Hierophant. Now you're kind of more in a wise place, now that you've kind of let go of the past, let go of these cycles, and you feel wise. You might have entered a new sort of environment. It could be a spiritual environment. It could be a work environment. Perhaps you combine the two. It doesn't have to necessarily mean religion. This could mean that your own beliefs, your own personal philosophies in life are now aligned with your career, because there's this aspect of authenticity within this this energy you're encompassing presently, which is great. So I think you were not letting your past hold you back anymore. Like you put your hand to that mentality and you said, stop, no more. I want this cycle to stop. And you ended up in a more powerful place right now. Maybe you were kind of going against the grain for a long time, and now you're kind of going with the flow. There's this energy of conformity in a way presently, like you're conforming to what's right for you. You're on the right career path now, and you're living your authentic truth. This is something now that you feel like is meant to be in your life. This is something that's connected to your soul, connected to your heart, connected to your mind, that you're involved with now in your career. So it's very much in alignment with who you are, and you were able to get rid of these toxic mentalities and these cycles that were holding you back from manifesting what you have in front of you now, and now you can fully live in that. And this is something that has long-term value too. Like, it's something that's very much supported by a community of people. You're not alone in this now, like you were in the past, always looking at your past. Now you can look into the future. And you have people around you that are supporting you, and you're able to be honest, you're able to live your authentic self. You're not wearing this mask anymore. And everyone around you shares the same belief system as you. They share the same philosophies in the workplace as you. So maybe you got onto a new team. Maybe you're doing exactly what you wanted to do for so long, but you felt like you couldn't do it. You were blocking it because of these negative patterns focused on your past. But now you're able to step into this new position, be around these people, share like-minded views, and be exactly who you are genuinely in your heart. So I think that's awesome. So congratulations for getting there. And then we have this Nine of Pentacles here, which is beautiful. Now you're kind of just reveling in the, this is in the near future, you're reveling in all that you've accomplished, all that you've manifested in your life, and you're appreciating its beauty. You're appreciating where you are now, and you're able to appreciate the more simple things in life and just bask in everything you've accomplished and everything that you've manifested into physical reality. So now you're enjoying your workplace, you're enjoying this new team, you're enjoying these new coworkers, and you're just happy to show up every day because, again, it's aligned within you. And you're kind of in abundance. You could be living a little more luxuriously. You could have gotten a lot of money, and now you're kind of basking in that new financial vibration where you just have all this money to spend. This is all kind of reliant on you too. Like, you're the one who's manifesting this, even though you're surrounded by like-minded people that share the same beliefs as you. Like, this is all you're doing. All you've created is because of your own effort. And so you can own that and know that you created this from your own doing. Yeah, there's like financial independence here. So you're not attached financially to anyone else. This is all your money now. And you're safe, you know, you're not in danger with this anymore. And you're just gracious. You're just grateful of all you've accomplished in the near future. And you're just content with your life. You're content with this job. You're content with these people, this career path. But there's this idea of shielding connected to that. So it's almost like you still have some walls up. Maybe you feel protective of this money now that you're kind of basking in this wealth and this luxury. There's this air of protection. It's almost like maybe you've never really experienced this level of financial freedom and you want to protect it at all costs. Maybe it's something that you're not used to. And so you feel the need to make sure nothing happens to it. And because of that, you're putting up these walls. So be careful with that. You definitely don't want to close yourself off from connecting with people in your workplace because you want to maintain this success on this team or with this job and making this money. Even though you are self-sufficient in the near future, you still feel a need to protect it. So that could also mean, hey, if you came into a bunch of money, make sure you're protecting it in ways of investing in the right things or contacting some professionals to help you invest in the right areas or help you protect your assets and make sure they're not at risk for anything. Make sure you're doing your taxes or whatever it might be. So definitely make sure you hear that message because maybe it's necessary to protect this. You know, some of you could even be winning a bunch of money, winning the lottery or something. And what do they say when you win the lottery? Like, immediately contact a lawyer and make sure you dot your I's, cross your T's, make sure you're not just blowing it, because what do they say? Most people that win the lottery end up losing it all or end up dying even. So there's definitely this air of protection around this new success and this new abundance for you. So make sure you're doing the necessary things for that. And then lastly, here we have this Knight of Cups in reverse, mixed with this hero energy. So maybe this shielding energy is kind of distorting your emotional reality in a way. Maybe it's kind of causing you to distrust people. Maybe you're closing off to the world because of this, because you feel like such a need to shield yourself, to protect yourself, to put up these walls to protect your abundance. You might be even jealous of other people, even though that might be crazy. With this abundance, it's still there. That's interesting. Yeah, it's almost like there's this new emotional blockage for you with this abundance. With this idea of hero. Maybe it's like you don't want to be saved anymore. Maybe in your past there were people that were coming to you to help you, to give you the answer. And now you don't really want to hear it. Now you're kind of self-sufficient. And you're like, I don't need anyone's help, you know? But yeah, there's definitely like this sort of moody energy after you get this abundance. Almost like miscommunications in a way. It's like people are trying to reach out to you with all this emotion, but again, you're shielding that off. You're protecting this abundance. And maybe some of these people actually do have your best interest in mind, because we do have this hero energy here with that. So definitely don't completely close yourself off to people. Like, yes, you should protect yourself, protect your abundance, and do the necessary responsible things to maintain this abundance and this new success. But don't close yourself off emotionally. You're running the risk of blocking your heart off to people here. And the universe is saying that there's people here that want to help you. There's people here that are offering their love to you, their guidance, their emotions to you, their raw selves to you, with important messages that could potentially help you. And you want to make sure you're not closed off to those people. But on the other side of that coin, there could be people that do not have your best intention in mind and are trying to pose as this hero energy, but they're really not coming in with the best intentions, you know? So make sure you're discerning who is right for you to listen to once you have this abundance, once you have this success. There may be people trying to throw you off your kilter. You know, you may be in a position of power now in the workplace, and maybe someone wanted that position. And so they could be coming to you trying to sell you some answer, but it might not have your best interest in mind. So definitely make sure you're protecting yourself in the right places from the right people, and make sure you're really listening to people's words logically, because there's a lot of these words are coming to you emotionally. So you want to discern that and make sure it's truly resonating with you. And then you can also see where these people are coming from. Because again, some of them might be posing as the hero, but some of them might actually be the hero. So definitely keep that in mind. But yeah, I mean, this is great to wind up with this abundance. Just make sure you're protecting yourself. Okay, I'm going to get some oracle cards now to close things off. Sorry if you hear that siren. I do live in Los Angeles, which is a pretty noisy city, but hopefully my microphone's doing a great job. Okay, let's get some oracle cards for deck number 3. Start things off with a nice animal card for you. Let's get an animal card for deck number 3. Animal card. Ooh, popped out the crow. Let's get a frequency card from the Teal Swan frequency deck. Ooh. What is deck 3's frequency in their career? What energy is deck 3 encompassing in their career? Thank you. Ooh, we have play in reverse. Let's get an angel card. And again, these oracle messages, I always say you don't have to think of them as angel messages. You can think of them as anything, higher self, just a message from the universe, a guide, higher self, whatever you want. Let's see what these angel cards have to say for deck number 3's career. Great. We have clear your space from the angels. We'll get a guide card too. What is deck number 3's guides want them to know? Whoa. Oh, that was crazy the way that popped up. Community, spiritual ancestors. And then we'll get a little moon card. Let's get a moon message for deck number 3's career. Whoa. I think it was this one. Communication is key. Just make these look pretty. I'm going to get some more clarifying cards for this too. We have beginnings, sacral chakra, third eye chakra, solar plexus chakra. Wow. Holiday. All right, so we just have some extra little oracle messages here for you. So you got the crow animal card. That's all about having control over your past, your present, and future, and using those different perspectives to help you. So you really want to kind of balance all 3 of those in this situation. It seems like there's definitely wisdom from each of them. But you're in a place of spiritual strength with this. And you're on the verge of transformation, I think. You know, this is mixed with this beginning card, so it really is a new beginning for you, I think, moving forward, for your near future. You're sitting on this ball of rainbow light, this pure transformative energy, and you're really strong mentally. spiritually strong too. And your creativity is also at a heightened state. But you're also very watchful. You have this very keen eye. You're able to see things very far away in very minute detail. And you're able to create magic here. So I think the reason you're able to create this abundance is because you're connected with your spiritual self, your belief system, and you're able to create from that place, create from a sense of authenticity. That's really the key to your abundance, is creating from this state of authenticity. So you're very mentally clear with this new beginning. Something that can help is a daily meditation practice, to just remind yourself maybe of like, hey, who am I actually? What makes me authentic? How am I authentically being myself? Because again, I'm seeing that this authenticity and spiritual strength within you is what's causing you to manifest this great abundance and this great financial security and financial ability. So that's great. And the play card in reverse means that you might be taking this a little too seriously, and maybe your creativity will be thrown off a little. So make sure you're able to have fun with this. Don't get too hardened by life, hardened by this experience. Again, I'm thinking back to that shield that you got. So make sure you're having fun. Make sure you're able to play, Maybe this is something that awakens your inner child. So make sure you're having fun with this, because this is directly connected to your sacral chakra. So this kind of relates to creative energy, sexual energy. So make sure you're having good sex. Make sure you're being creative, even if you have to do things outside of work to just spark that creativity. Pick up a little hobby or something, whatever that looks like for you. Just remember that you should be having fun during this, and that's the way your creativity will shine, your manifestation will be able to happen, is by having fun and not taking it so seriously. Again, be careful of those shields. Then you have clear your space, get rid of clutter, clear the energy around you. Use feng shui even, so maybe it's time to reorient your space for this new abundance. Maybe it's time to actually get a new place. This could be your sign. Trust your intuition here. You have this third eye chakra connected to that. So you really want to trust your intuition when you're getting rid of things. So say you pick something up in your room and you're like, think of like that girl Marie Kondo, like, does this spark joy? Literally, like, think of the first thing that comes to your mind, like, is this a yes or is this a no? And just roll with that. Like, you really want to be trusting your intuition with this, trusting your intuition on, oh, should I move? Should I get a new house? Like, what should I do with this abundance? Could be clearing other people around you once you're stepping into this abundance. So you want to be coming from a place of your intuition, from your third eye. What is these decisions you're making? Are they coming from your higher self? Are they coming for your highest good in mind? That's how you should be making these decisions. And then community, make sure you're leaning on your community here. There could be some ancestors that are supporting you at this time too. The number 3 is coming up, if that means anything. Definitely make sure you're communicating with your community here, leaning on them. I think you are involved with that Hierophant card in, like, again, this community in the workplace where you're all kind of the same philosophical mindset, spiritual mindset even, or work mindset. So definitely lean on that community, and that's connected to solar plexus chakra. So make sure you're finding yourself in that community too, and you're, while you are self-sufficient with this abundance, and technically it is your doing and it's created by you, make sure you're paying respect to your community and, like, continuing to be part of this community, because they're offering support here. And there's definitely a lot of blue coming in, so make sure you're communicating. And we also have this card, communication is key, new moon in Gemini. So make sure you're communicating during this time. And that's connected with this holiday card, which could mean it might be worth saying something around the next holiday, whenever that might be. Whenever you're hearing this reading, it may be time to say something important by the next holiday. That may sound random, but that's just what's coming through. Okay, cool. Well, I'm going to end it there. If you want to get a little deeper, I do private readings at this time. You can go into the video description and get my contact there. But if not, thank you so much for joining me. Make sure you like, comment, subscribe. The interaction really helps the channel, keeping things free, keeping my channel alive. And thank you so much for tuning in. Really appreciate it. Hope you have an amazing rest of your day. This has been Rainbow Moon. What's up, deck number 4? Welcome to your reading. Remember, if you pick this deck, you pick the deck with the charoite. I love this crystal. I love purple and black together. So how this reason oops. What's up, deck number 4? Welcome to your reading. Remember, if you pick this deck, you pick the deck with the charoite on it. One of my favorite crystals. I love the colors purple and black together. Alright, so how this reading is going to work is I'm going to start with some traditional tarot here, and then I'll go into some oracle cards to end things off. So, okay, let's see what's in store for deck number 4's career. Let's shuffle the cards a little. What do we have in store for deck 4's career? What is going on with deck 4's career? Alright. One more shuffle just to make it 4 shuffles. That seems pretty fitting. Alright. That felt right. Let's see what you got. Deck number 4 for your career. We have the Star in reverse. Page of Cups in reverse. 6 of Pentacles in reverse. Judgment. Wheel of Fortune in reverse. A lot of reverse, which doesn't always mean a bad thing. Alright, we'll get some clarifying cards. For the Star in reverse, we have Desert. For Page of Cups in reverse, we have Specialness. For 6 of Pentacles in reverse, we have Balance. For Judgment, Adversity. And for Wheel of Fortune in reverse, we have Present. Okay, very interesting. Like I said, a lot of cards in reverse, but that doesn't always mean it's a bad thing. So right off the bat, we have the Star in reverse. Maybe you feel like your wishes aren't coming true in your career. Maybe it feels sort of like the cup is half empty instead of half full. So there's this air of pessimism. You don't have faith in your career. And I see this being more so in the past, like the distant past. You really felt like your wishes weren't being fulfilled in your career. Nothing was really working out. The things you were setting out to manifest, the seeds that you were planting, weren't really growing. And so it caused you to have this lack of faith, this lack of hope in your career. This is mixed with the Desert card, which I can really see. I mean, it feels like it's a barren desert. There's really no forms of life, harsh conditions, harsh weather, and it's overall just not a very comfortable place to be. Yeah, you might have been really focusing on what you don't have here. And your wishes were kind of being blocked. Your goals, dreams, and desires in your career in the past were very much feeling blocked, feeling like they would never come to fruition, and you're just wandering this empty, dry, barren desert endlessly with no hope in sight, really. But the beauty of the desert is that things still will grow. No matter how harsh the conditions are, there is still life that adapted and thrives in this sort of harsh condition. So that brings us to this Page of Cups in reverse. So again, I feel like you're not really able to, this is in the near past, you're not really able to initiate any inspiration towards your career. You don't really feel that special. Don't really feel like you matter, maybe. Maybe you just feel alone in your career. Maybe you can't get that job, or maybe you have a job and you just don't feel really appreciated in the workplace. You just feel even like a cog in the system. This could also be experiencing like creative blocks, like you're not really able to think of anything new or fresh, no new ideas, not really sure where you should move forward in your career or in your job. You just feel sort of stagnant, not really able to move forward, not sure what this next project should be, not sure what this step forward should be in career, in this business. I think you're really going against yourself in the near past. You were really doubting yourself, doubting your intuition, doubting your instincts here, and you're very much misaligned with who you are, and you didn't really feel special. Again, you just felt like a cog in the system. You didn't really feel like you mattered in this work environment, and you just felt like you were on an island. So yeah, the emotional inspiration was really blocked here, which is a shame because we are all special creatures. We all deserve to have our wishes fulfilled. So presently, you might be dealing with some financial hardships. It's looking like you might be taken advantage of right now in your workplace. You could be underpaid. There's this idea of balance here. So I think you're really coming to terms now with this environment being toxic, this environment being one-sided. You're not getting what you're putting in. There's not equal reciprocation here. There might be a bunch of debts you're dealing with, and the debt collectors are coming. Yeah. Or you've just been drained financially from this situation, from this work environment. Like it's very much not in your best interest. You're being taken advantage of here, and it's draining your savings. It's draining you financially, or it's just draining you of this vitality to take action in your career. This inspiration, this creativity is being drained from you So this could be a work environment where you're just not inspired. And I think, it's ultimately going to come down to like this judgment day in the near future. There's this like balancing that needs to happen with this situation, again, because it's unfair and you're not being treated appropriately, you're not being compensated appropriately, or you're not being appreciated appropriately in this work environment. Or it could just be, the work completely dries up for some of you and there's really just nothing there. But I'm really trying to bring it back to what you're dealing with here in your past, because it really did seem like these mentalities that you were having sort of leading to this situation, like they're all kind of leading up to this judgment day that will happen in the near future. You didn't feel special. You didn't feel like your wishes were being fulfilled. You had these emotional blockages. And it's coming to a point now where it's like you just can't sustain this anymore, and you're running out of water in the desert, and the drain is running dry, so to speak. And it's coming to a point where you don't have any choice left but to make a change. So whether this is your own doing or the doing of this workplace or this work situation that just isn't aligned and it's very unreciprocal, very imbalanced, it's leading to this judgment day. And it's really seems like it could hit hard, I think, because it's mixed with this adversity card here. So all of this is really leading up to this judgment, this big moment where you're going to be facing some adversity, facing some stress, facing financial trouble potentially, facing a job loss potentially, facing, the water drying up in the desert in your career potentially. Or this could also just be a new mentality that you're forced to have. You could just be someone that's been in this toxic work environment and you've been underappreciated for so long, you've been uninspired for so long, your wishes weren't fulfilled for so long, and this company or this group of people were just taking advantage of that and taking advantage of you, and you're the one deciding to bring balance into the situation by leaving or by speaking out to these people. Like, I'm seeing this image of you just telling the entire company or telling everyone, like, hey, this is what I've been dealing with and this is how I want things to change. And it's almost like you're standing up for yourself and you're demanding the truth to come out, things to be more fair. It could be like a legal thing. Like, you could be willing to press charges for some of you. But this is definitely not going to be easy. But it seems destined by the universe. Like, there's just so much energy leading up to this that it's sort of inevitable in the near future. But I do think it's going to be worth the pain that you might experience because of it. It won't be the easiest thing, but I think it's been a long time coming. Like, you've been dealing with this since your distant past. And the day has come where you decide to finally speak out about this in this workplace. And for those of you where this is all sort of internal, it's not really associated with a workplace, it could just be like you personally in your career path. This might be a day where, hey, you decide to like make a change and actually start something new and be like, I can't keep living like this. And you might have to start something from scratch. Sorry, that's a helicopter if you can hear that. So it might come to a point where you have to make this change and you have to speak with yourself. It might be not speaking with this work environment. It could be speaking to your own soul and being like, I can't live like this anymore. I have to make this change, and I want my wishes to be fulfilled. I want my desires, dreams, goals to manifest. I want to feel special. And I want to stop treating myself unfairly. So that could be hard, to come to that harsh reality that you've been, treating yourself harshly, almost like you're a toxic boss to yourself who's also your own employee. Now it's time to bring harmony to this career mentality and really bring the truth into it. Like, what is the situation really? Like, all the illusions are being lifted now, and the truth has finally come. Yeah, there could be other people, if you're one of those people listening, that this is your, work environment. That's what this kind of speaks to. There could be other people too that this truth could touch, actually, and really balance the entire work environment by you alone speaking out for injustice, like this could have been affecting more than just you. And because you had the guts to come out and speak for yourself, you didn't know that you were going to be speaking for other people too. And you're actually helping more than just yourself in this situation. So if you're wondering right now if it's worth it, it is, because this is really going to bring balance into not only yourself, but this entire situation. So it's definitely worth it. And then lastly, in your distant future, we have the Wheel of Fortune in reverse. So I think this just kind of mixes with what I've been saying with this adversity by speaking your truth. Like, it may be hard to make a change. This change definitely is going to come with some sort of resistance. I think there's a lot of cycles that have to be broken in order for this change to happen. But by doing this, you're planting a seed to grow for the future. So it is worth it, just by the act of being this person to speak truth to this situation in the workplace, on this project, to your coworkers, whatever it might be. It's going to bring monumental change in the future. Just the act of doing it and having the courage to speak up and tell the truth, and, or if for those of you to dive into this legal battle, it will be worth it. And it is planting a seed to eventually grow and provide fruit, provide success in the situation. So, but it might be hard. I think it definitely will be hard, but I think it'll be hard to deal with the repercussions, like the implications of speaking out, speaking your truth into this situation, because it's almost like you're mixing up this entire paradigm. You could be forming an entirely new identity within your career here, and it changes everything, really. So you might kind of be sweeping the rug under your own feet. And yeah, you could be experiencing some resistance to the change, so once you just know, like, once you tell the truth in this situation, the truth comes out in this situation, then there's no going back. So definitely think through, like, the implications and the cause and effect of this truth coming out, because it's definitely going to kind of rock your world in a way, and it might, not feel the best, because, I think there's been all these cycles that you've been so used to for so long that now that they're broken, you have to completely start over in a lot of aspects in this career situation. So definitely be aware of that too. And this goes for those people where this is like purely internal and not relating to a work environment. Starting from square one is difficult, but remember that you are planting this seed and it is worth it. Lastly, what I wanted to say, if you're not the one speaking up, someone else will. So Judgment Day will come, so it's better off that you be the one to be honest instead of waiting for it to come. And definitely lean on community here too. All right. I'm going to get some oracle cards now. So deck number 4, as I always say, just going to get some extra little messages with some oracle cards, but you can look at this any way you want. These could be messages from angels, ancestors, your higher self, the universe, your spirit tribe, however you want to look at it. Doesn't matter. Okay, let's start from the animal deck. What animal can help deck number 4 in their career? What animal can help deck number 4 in their career? What animal can help deck number 4 in their career? Unicorn. Oh my gosh. Great card. Let's get some frequency cards. Gonna get a frequency card from Teal, Swan. Frequency deck. What frequency is deck number 4 vibrating in their career? Self-trust. Interesting. Get some angel cards. Messages from your angels. Whoa. That popped out crazily. You got 2 cards from the angel deck. Brilliant idea. And prioritize. And we'll get one more guide card. What do deck number 4's guides want them to hear about their career? Oh my gosh, you got 2 again. These cards are just popping out for you. Okay, let me just organize this a little. You got unicorn, self-trust, brilliant idea, physical body, and suffering. I'm just going to get some clarifying cards here too. Crowd surfing with the unicorn. Water with self-trust. Light at the end of the tunnel with brilliant idea. Predator with prioritize. Winter, physical body. Heart chakra with suffering. Well, you got the unicorn card here, and there's actually 2 cards that feature a unicorn, this other brilliant idea card. So I hope you like unicorns, because you can definitely be leading on that for inspiration. The unicorn is all about feeling special, so it actually ties back into that lack of feeling special that we were talking about. So the universe wants you to know that you are special, and you've been crowd surfing for a while, which basically means you've just been kind of getting lost in the sauce, not feeling your place in society, just feeling like a cog in the system. So it's time to start feeling unique. It's time to start knowing that you are special and you are unique and you have something special and unique to offer the world at this time. And a lot of that is going to lie within your own intuition. So there's this big message of trusting your intuition here, balancing your third eye. So definitely lean on purple energy. Any purple crystals, amethyst is a great one, of course. It's time to open that third eye and really trust your intuition. So trust your gut here in this work situation. Kind of think of the first thing that comes to you when you ask yourself the question of like, what do I want to do next in my career? How should I deal with this situation? How should I tell this truth in the workplace or to myself? And really just listen to the first answer that comes to mind, because that's usually the answer. So trust your intuition and open your third eye to that situation and trust yourself. Maybe you were not listening to that voice in your head for so long, and you were listening to other people, or you were having ideas and you just weren't really trusting what was coming up in your mind for your career, like your ideas for a career, your ideas in the workplace, your ideas for projects, your communicating your ideas to coworker. You just weren't trusting yourself. And so it's time to flip the script on that and kind of brunt the emotional waters, like just dive in to the ocean, even though it might be really rocky and really treacherous. You got to trust yourself, even though it might be scary, because you do know how to swim. You have brilliant idea here. Yes, your idea is divinely guided. Please take action to bring your idea to fruition. And this is completely connected to this unicorn card here, and it's pointing to self-trust too. So it's like when you have this big idea, you need to trust yourself and know that it's worth exploring. Know that it's worth communicating, and know that it's worth to tell the truth on this situation, like we were saying earlier. I think you're going to be very much supported by those around you and supported by the universe when you have this kind of epiphany, when you have this idea, whether it's an idea for a career change or an idea for a project, whatever it might be in the workplace. Trust yourself with it, because you're definitely supported. And that, I think, is the key to the light at the end of the tunnel. Like, I feel like you've been experiencing this darkness for so long, and like these cloudy days in your mind. It's time to brush away those clouds and just let the light shine on you, and let that guide you. Let these ideas guide you. Let your intuition guide you, and know that your ideas are special. Your ideas are unique, and they should be supported. And if the people around you aren't supporting them, then those people are not the right people for this idea. You need to prioritize this idea. Focus on your highest priorities. I will help you get organized and motivated. Archangel Metatron. Beautiful card, and that's mixed with Predator. So I think you need to focus on what's most important. Make sure you're focusing on what is really the heaviest weight on you, and make sure you're putting the energy towards what needs to be prioritized over other things. So make sure you're focusing on the bigger things instead of the smaller things. See the big picture here. Then you have physical body, Gaia, Earth, mixed with winter. So maybe this will fully come to fruition in winter, potentially. Yeah. Focus on your physical body. Maybe time to reconnect with nature. Maybe time to work out during the situation too. Maybe you've been ignoring your body, actually, and it's been feeling like a winter because it's just been so ignored. And this actually could be a key to changing your mentality a little, because it's all connected, mind, body, spirit. This could be a sign to start working out again, start running again, start hiking again, go into nature, reconnect with nature and reconnect with your body. Because maybe I feel like in the past you were ignoring a bunch of these feelings, ignoring a bunch of these negative mentalities like you are not special, for example. And, that's stored in the body too. So it's time to purge that. So physical exercise might help that a lot, because it's just kind of been barren for a while and it's kind of lifeless. And then lastly, we have heart chakra with suffering, and there's divine teachers. So definitely lean on the people who you might have leaned on in the past, who are teachers to you, who do offer guidance to you. Maybe time to go back to them with this situation, because this is definitely something that's been weighing heavily on you a while, and you're definitely going to need support once you finally communicate this truth. And make sure you're giving yourself self-love during this too, and make sure you're able to receive love from these people as well. There's definitely a rebalancing of the heart chakra that's needed here. And again, that could very much be connected with this physical body message. So working out may really help this situation, and may really be what you need to clear the mind, to get rid of these negative mentalities. So, definitely do what you can for the heart. Eat healthy things that align with the heart. Eat your greens, anything green, wear green, any green crystals. Green aventurine is a great one. Yeah, because I think you've been suffering for a long time, and I think your heart has been weighing heavily on you. So definitely get support where you can, but most importantly, make sure you're practicing self-love during this entire situation. Because I think for so long in your past, you've been letting these toxic mentalities kind of weigh down on you, and now it's coming to a boiling point, and you're making this big change. But again, it's going to come with adversity. So you want to be making sure you're giving yourself love and grace moving forward, because it might not feel the best. But do not forget that by fully taking a stand, speaking your truth into this situation, to yourself or to this work environment, it is planting a seed that will eventually grow and yield fruit. All right, so I'm going to end it there. If you guys want to go deeper into this situation, you can hit me up. My contact's in the video description. I'm doing private readings right now, so fully available. But if not, thank you so much for tuning in. Make sure you like, comment, and subscribe. Interacting with my channel is how we keep these readings alive and keep them free. So I would really appreciate that. And thank you so much for tuning in. I really hope this helped. Really hope it resonated. And hope you have a beautiful rest of your day. This has been Rainbow Moon.